Okay, hello everyone. This is GetSelious, SithScott, and we'll be giving you our impressions, reviews, I guess our takes of the overall game. We've done a lot of videos of the Ruined King, the League of Legends stories. So obviously, if you couldn't tell from the playthrough, this is the bounty board. So we're going to put all our scores in up there. And I think the first thing we'll start with is the graphics and aesthetics of this game. So I'm going to go on my spiel a bit, and I think the art direction and the graphics of this game is very, very anime-esque. The art has usually follows the artists of Airship Syndicate, Joe Menduda. One of my, I enjoy his art and his comic art he's done before from shows like Gemini and Battle Chasers, the game and the comic. I think the art and graphics really fit the game especially. It's very expressive.
Now, with me, I personally really like the way the graphics and the animations work with this game. There's a lot of little things that you see within like the way they do their animations for each character that gives them life. Like for instance, you have the great tentacles.
Yeah,
You have Yasuo's blade skills.
yeah,
And overall, I think that it really fits the characters extremely well, which is why I think the graphics are really on point for this game.
yeah. If you had to rate the graphics, where would you put it at? Like a scale one to
I'd put it
five.
at a 5.
Same. I think art is amazing. Joe Maduro slice it again. Everyone in Air Certificate, pat yourself on the back. You have another good looking game in your there. Another good looking game. Your art perfecto. That is the best art we've seen in a long time. So I guess the next topic we're going to talk about would be I guess the sound design and the audio, the sound effects. Yeah. So how do we think about this game when it sounds? It doesn't affect me much. I haven't heard any like soundtrack or running around that felt like bangers. Something like I gotta let's do this.
Yeah, I think the audio does pretty good. I think overall, my favorite part of, I guess, just the overall audio design is probably in the voice acting and in like the characters themselves. I think
Yeah,
my favorite thing is the voices. The music itself is, I'd say it's like a little bit better than okay, but it's not necessarily like throwing me over the edge that I want to just download this entire soundtrack.
true, very true. I think the sound direction, yeah, the voice direction of the game is really good. There are some voice actors you hear a lot over and over. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Liam O'Brien is a voice you hear a lot. He is the voice of he. You heard his voice in many places. He's in Darksiders. Just that voice. He has so many things I can't live top about. He's Yashu in this game. He's also voiced some of the background characters, like some of the NPCs here. So that's pretty cool. But overall, if I had to like from the music and the sound effects, it's serviceable. So I'll give it like a 3. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard or the best, but it's good enough that carries the game. I think I've heard worse first voice acting from games like Y2K.
Yeah, I'd say 3 is probably what I'd agree with that.
So it's definitely a 3. Worth the try. I mean, you guys did your best job, but not really worth the try. You guys actually did a lot better, but definitely it's serviceable and definitely up the marker. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the core aspects of this game. It's an RPG. Let's talk about the gameplay, the actual mechanics, everything is work. So, Scott, what do you think about the combat or any other game mechanics across the game?
Honestly, I really kind of dig that it kind of slowly builds up with the characters and the RPG aspects. Um, I mean, I feel like my biggest like of this game is how combat works and how it runs, with it showing like the power lane, the speed lane, the balanced kind of both between those two lanes.
Yeah, I think the combat in this game, for those who played their previous game, Battle Chasers Night Wars, you will notice a lot of similarities and a couple differences, like the lane mechanic. You'll also notice how they add these zones in the lanes. Like it might be in your best interest to land in a positive zone than a negative zone. I think there's also we fought I believe we fought a boss, the temple spider, who had a lane of sticky webs that you just have to dodge, or if you get because you get sticky web twice, you're automatically stunned.
Yeah, I think that's actually really cool with them adding boss mechanics to those lanes and to their mechanics itself.
Right.
And it adds a lot more diversity of how you play because you can't just kind of do the same thing over and over again
Ag-
because of that.
Agreed. I think it's the game is strong because of that. Um, there's also some downside to the game as well. I'd say a small downside is from the battle mechanic. If you figure out your team's rhythm and the way you fight, it can feel a bit repetitive. But that's kind of RPGs in general. I mean, they don't call it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call it repetitive punching game. But
Just constantly pressing the attack button over and over again.
right, but I do like this game has a flow to it, which you have characters that they do, etc. I do also like one thing about this game that I think it's good compared to other RPGs. For those who have not played their prior game, Battle Chasers Night War, you will notice that you have a lot more freedom with a character expression, how you want to build them, as well as there is no like take backsies. There's like once let's say we put a point into Braum and realize this skill doesn't work, you could just move the skill point over, and the champion skills over as well. And I think that's a really good mechanic to have because some games, like if you level up the wrong way, it's over. Like Lord knows that used to play Path of Exile, or and I messed up one point in my skill tree that's critical, I am done. I have to like delete that character or spend in-game money to like reset that skill point or something.
Yeah, I mean, even some games, it's not even in-game money. You sometimes have to spend real money to get like a reset character, which kind of sucks.
Exactly, and like, the fact this game has such expression, so you can do what you want. Like I can see, like I think in our playthrough, we did our best, and it was successful to make crit Yasuo. That was great.
It's very successful.
But if we wanted to, we could have made attack Yasuo or debuff Yasuo. We did make Tentacle Mom Ilioid. We did make Tentacle Mom, so that was great. But we could have focused her on being a healer. We could have put Braum into focusing more of his concussion mechanic because I believe he hits like a certain amount of concussions, the enemy is auto stunned. So it's a lot of things you can kind of do what you want, but at least you have an experience to experiment to do that. And if you feel like it's not working or a playstyle isn't good, well, you can always just reset and do something else for free without any like anything in there. So I think that's a great aspect of the combat mechanic. The other gameplay mechanics of the game, fishing is fun. It works. Enough said, right?
It's fishing. You can't. I mean, there are ways to mess up fishing mechanics in games, but I feel like this is a pretty safe one.
That's good to know. That's good. Yeah, and there's other mechanics. The gameplay of equipping items and using them pretty easy to use. The gameplay of standard RPG stuff like buying stuff, selling stuff, side quests, etc., all fit perfectly fine in it. So I'm gonna give the gameplay a strong 4. How do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
I'd say a 4. I do really like. I think like the one downside I think of them with their like shop mechanics is when you go to the shops, there isn't a lot of variety in every shop. They'll usually have like one thing per character in a shop, and you have to like go to different shops to see if there's a thing that you want for the character you want to find for. Like in our playthrough, we were trying to find some actual good armor for Braum, and it was a lot more difficult than we were expecting it to be.
Exactly, yeah. And I also kind of feel like I guess yeah, that's another part of the shop. The shops aren't as diversified, and I guess because they were thinking you find everything in the dungeon, yes and no. I also kind of feel like it was a bit weird early in the game that the game was trying to say, "Hey, buy this armor with all your money now for like higher
Yeah,
level stuff," and I'm like, I don't think so. It's a bit out there for me. So
yeah. It's you don't get a lot of bang for your buck in the beginning, so I wouldn't recommend trying to buy a lot of stuff until after you realize what you kind of want to go for.
yeah, so basically, is I guess we can go with the final aspect of the game, our final score, what we give this game out of a solid 5. In my opinion, this game is great for people who like RPGs, have a little more casual taste to it, who is a fan of League of Legends, who definitely because this game is I feel the game does a really good job of keeping you up to pace with something's always happening, right? I
Yes.
I will give this game between a 4 and a 4.5. It's solid. There are some weaknesses of the game, but it doesn't really remove some of it. This game is a I would recommend people getting this game. Even if you're one of those guys who buy things on sale, Steam sale, I wouldn't recommend. Even then, I wouldn't recommend it. But the price point of the game is can be considered on the high point for some. The game is worth $30 on Steam, like $29.99. It's a bit that could be a bit pricey, but I feel each penny is worth the experience of this game.
Yeah, I think it definitely adds the value, especially because you can do like multiple playthroughs if you really want to, showing different difficulties as well as trying to build your character in different ways. So I don't think this is one of those RPGs that's just a one and done, though it definitely can be if you're just in it for the story.
Exactly, and the game again, because the game has multiple, as Scott pointed out, difficulties. You could play it on better, harder, heroic, and if, as we joked about on our first playthrough of this game, put this game on story mode where you can skip battles. Oh my god, why would people do that?
In case, you don't like RPGs. Maybe you just are a League of Legends fanboy and you just want to look at more of your League of Legends characters doing stuff that's not League of Legends.
I mean, I guess everyone, if they just want to see Tentacle Mommy, I mean, I guess so, right?
Yeah.
Tentacle.
This is-
So overall, what would
but
you give this game as well?
I would give this game probably a 4.5. I really enjoy how they've done this game, and I really enjoyed. I mean, even like the weaknesses I say are not necessarily, I think, in my opinion, too weak of a weaknesses to really put it down too much. But that's just my personal preference. I'm really big fan of RPGs and being able to like min max different ability points and masteries, and
Uh,
that kind of just tickles my fancy.
Of course, I'm a RPG fan as well. I mean, look, we are like we have God knows how many videos on this game on the channel, but it is a good game. But the only weakness I would say is that for people who aren't ready for RPGs, it can be competitive for them. And once you figure out the flow of the game, or at least the character style you have, you can feel like it's kind of going through the motions, but not really because the lane mechanics are really important. So, etc. But yeah, all the weaknesses this game have are standard RPG weaknesses. I feel like there's nothing. That's what this game is, still stands above them. This game I do feel like is a bit on the shorter side a bit because they just kind of ramp everything up so quickly. But I definitely really do enjoy the fact that like all these characters in the game, they feel expressive. I know very jack little about League of Legends, and I would like to see more of these characters in the future, or like future games or something like that.
Yes, we need more Braum and everything.
Oh, Braum is glorious. Yep. So anyway, guys, thank you for checking out the review of Ruined King, a League of Legends story, created by Airship Syndicate and published by Riot Forge Games. Um, looking, I'm looking forward to if they ever make a sequel to Battle Chasers or a sequel to this game, possible, or another League of Legends story game. League of Legends have God knows like over 100+ characters, right?
We had enough champions. They could probably make games and series for like the next 10 years and be fine.
Definitely. All right. Hope you hope you guys enjoyed the review. If it helped you, if you guys have any disagreements or what you agree with, let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video as well, and be also to sub. You hit that sub, hit the bell. You'll be notified when we go live with our videos, and you'll be up to date with everything. This is GetSelious and Scott signing out. Thank you guys for coming by. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.